Peace and blessings, fam. I'm your brother in the struggle, Alif. And today we're going to decipher NASA's newest updated 6-year observation on the planet Mars. And basically, they theorized that Mars had more water than they originally thought. Now, I mean, reading the report, there's a lot of serious guesses involved. Like, they literally going into like millions and billions of years ago. It was 425 feet of water. I'm like, how would you know that? And I mean, come on. Now, I mean, other observers disagree with their conclusions. I disagree with probably 60% of their conclusions. Now, I mean, for me, the main scientific observation that is missing is if Mars had this giant ocean that they saying is bigger than the Antarctic Ocean on Earth, and for the layperson, water on Earth is just regular H2O, but the water they're talking about on Mars is not like the water on Earth. Now, I mean, it's what you call ionized water. It's like a heavier or denser type of water. Now, I mean, it's another element in that water that basically it's like, it's on Earth, when you find real dense water, it's like near evaporated lakes and streams and things of that nature there. So basically what they trying to hypothesize is that Mars had this giant ocean full of water, but there's no scientific residue. Like if it was a giant ocean, you would see, like, say you took all the water off the Earth. When you look at the Earth, you ain't got to come to Earth. You just took a telescope and observed it. You would see that it would have shorelines. Now, I mean, you would see, like, say the water hitting the cliffs, and I mean, for millions of years. Now, I mean, you'll see those type of jagged edges from where the water erosion would take place. That's missing on Mars right now. Maybe they'll find it in the future. Maybe it got, I'm just hypothesizing now, maybe it got covered by dust eons ago or something. Who knows? I mean, but until they find that fingerprint of water where, they did find blue crystals, and I definitely believe that it was water on there, but the way they saying it, they're basically saying that in the beginning of time, mathematically, the way they talking is the first planet with life on it was Mars, and it had this giant ocean and probably life forms. Messenger Elijah Muhammad, Master Muhammad, would disagree with that, because the messenger thing is, no, the first planet with life and sustainable water was Earth. I mean, and yes, there was water and life on Mars. They lived 1,200 years. I mean, but for whatever reasons, that life system is no longer there. And usually, whenever you find water, they say there's the probability of life. I say wherever you find water, water is life. I mean, duh. So the whole universe is alive. Now, I mean, it's like a meteor has water on it. Now, I mean, an asteroid, has water on it. Now, I mean, it could crash into a planet and bring water on that planet. Now, I mean, a whole bunch of them hit the moon. There's no water on the moon, but the message teaches us in Christianity versus Islam, that's not to say that there's no water in the moon. A lot of people miss that important scientific principle. There's no water on the moon, but there's water in the moon, because the moon is being bombarded with water-bearing rocks. So you see all these craters on the moon, and on the dark side of the moon, where it's freezing, is lakes of water back there. You know what I mean? So a lot of people get spooky when you don't know your lessons, when you don't study that problem book, when you don't study the sciences of life. you can get spooky. Know what I mean? But I just wanted to share that with y'all that, you know, they did find some dense evidence of water, more water than they thought. And it's kind of comical because the white scientists is basically saying they believe that there was a major flood on Mars, but they don't believe it was a major flood on Earth. You know what I mean? Because of Noah's Ark and all that kind of stuff. But the funny thing is, we live on a planet that's 71% water. So, you know, mathematically, you only got 30% land. So obviously, this planet had countless floods. I mean, you know, people living, if you live on the Nile Valley, they'd be like, we get flooded all the time. And if you live in your little area of the world, you see them. If you see a major flood, and say the Delaware River flood rose up and flooded the city of Philadelphia, your world would be Philadelphia. So you think the whole planet, because you don't see nothing but water. But that don't mean that China's flooded. That don't mean California. That don't mean the desert of Nevada is flooded. But to your knowledge, there was a flood. And you're right that so flood histories is written all over the world. I mean, you know, everybody got their Noah Ark stories, but sometimes we confuse our myths and legends with actual facts. We confuse what we believe with what we know. So study your lessons, which are your blessings, and the struggle continues. One love, your brother in the struggle, Brother Minister Ali. Islam Allah.